Hi guys and welcome to D6 Evolution. I'm Wes and this is Simon.
Hello.
And today we're so excited because we are chatting...
Raven Guard.
Raven Guard.
Raven Guard.
I love these guys. Just a quick shout out to GW to send us a pre-copy of this so we could film this and get it out to you today. So, should we dive into it?
Let's crack on.
But before we do, D6 Evolution, we are a tactics-based channel aimed at making you a better player. So if you want to keep up to date with all our latest updates, please like and subscribe. Let's chat Raven Wing.
Let's do it.
Raven Wing? Raven Guard. Raven Wing's my favourite really, but these are my favourite of the regular Space Marines. Shall we start?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go with the chapter tactic.
So just so we go through, the Space Marine book has all of the chapter tactics for all of the Marine factions. So Raven Guard have changed slightly from their last book.
Yeah.
So it is, if you're shooting a ranged weapon against them from more than 12 inches away, they count as being in cover. If their unit is fully within terrain, they're also -1 to hit now. So a little bit of a change just from being straight up -1 to hit like they used to be.
But I think it's a really good chapter tactic just on its own.
I do. I think this is also a direction I could see a lot of other factions going as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So look to the future for other stuff, which is quite cool.
Yeah, and I think just the ability for this is really quite powerful, especially when you combine it with things like eliminators that, once they're out there, it's -1 to hit, and they're going to be getting a pretty much a 1-up cover save when they're sat in cover somewhere. Which is
I think that the play style is you don't need to play quite so defensively with this army as you might have done with some other factions.
Yeah.
You can have all your stuff kind of out in the open, and you're still going to benefit from having all that cover save, which is quite nice, really.
Yeah, I think it's pretty, for me, I think it's the best chapter tactic are the ones available in the Space Marine Codex.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe that is absolutely the case in this.
Cool. So you get that if you have an entirely Space Marine army. If you take entire Space Marines and on top of that everyone is a Raven Guard, then we get an additional benefit which is called surgical strikes. So whilst the tactical doctrine is active, when resolving an attack made by a model with this ability against a character unit, you can add 1 to hit rolls and wound rolls.
It's pretty powerful. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. So initially when I read this as like just against characters and stuff, when you see some of the combos that actually happen in the book later, this gets really quite gnarly. And remember that actually, not all characters are infantry. So you have character dreadnoughts now for your Iron Hands.
Yep.
And you have character knights, which this also benefits against.
Probably the most useful
Yeah.
thing's for. That's really terrifying for knight players.
So actually, surgical strikes, I really like this as a place to start for Raven Guard.
Yeah, I think so.
Sweet. So I think the one thing that we should really talk about first, because there's a new fantastic model for it, is Shrike. What a dude! I love this guy.
I'm so happy. My other half loves Raven Guard and she loves the original Shrike. And seeing a new model is pretty exciting. So,
well, it's not just a new model as well. He has been upgraded to Chapter Master.
And he's also been upgraded to Primaris as well. So he's got a few upgrades going on for him this time.
Yeah, so I just love this guy. So let's read through the stats for him. So he's got a 14-inch move, which is phenomenal, really.
Ridiculous.
He's weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 2, as I guess you'd kind of expect him to be.
Yeah.
He's strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, because he's got that Primaris buff now. He's got 6 attacks, which will become 7 on the charge now with the new Angels of Death rule.
Correct.
Which is pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
He's leadership 9, and he has a 3+ save. So let's have a look at his weapons. He's got Blackout, which is that super special pistol. It's 18 inches, it's pistol 2, strength 4, -2, and 2 damage. And essentially he can target characters. And again, if he targets, if he gets a wound roll of a 6+, it inflicts 1 mortal wound.
Which is great on its own. However, you can combine it obviously with surgical strikes. So if you target a character with it, it's +1 to hit and +1 to wound.
And because the bonus on that is the +1 to wound benefits means that the mortal wounds will now be generated on
5+. Yeah,
so that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty mean weapon actually. I think that's going to be underestimated because I think a lot of people just think, it's just an add-on for him. He's a melee character really.
Yeah.
That's gonna catch people out. I guarantee that'll catch people out.
Yeah, so that pistol has a potential output of, what's that, 6 damage really?
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Next thing he's got is the Raven's Talons. It's a melee weapon. It's user strength. It's -3 and it's 2 damage. And when resolving these attacks made with this weapon, you can re-roll the wounds. Again,
it's his lightning claws back.
Yeah, it's his lightning claws. He's got 7 attacks on the charge. These things. He's ignoring armor saves pretty much with that quite reliably. With those re-rolls to wound as well, 2 damage. He's going to be quite a monster in combat, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, if he's attacking characters, I mean that's +1 to wound. So strength 4 doesn't sound particularly exciting, but I mean if he's attacking characters, he's hitting them all most of the time. Wounding them all freeze. That's
and when you combine that as well with against like weaker characters for like Eldari and stuff, these guys are going to be incinerated.
Yeah, Harlequins might actually be pretty terrified of this guy. Actually, their characters would just fold immediately to this guy.
So he's got frag grenades and crack grenades, which are fairly standard for the Space Marines. So let's have a chat about his ability. So he's got the Angels of Death ability, which we've spoken about before on the Space Marine Codex. On top of that, he's now become a Chapter Master. Which is really nice buff actually, especially with that manoeuvrability that has that 14-inch base move. He can really get somewhere to give that re-rolls of all hits, which is nice. And it's not just failed hit rolls now; it's re-roll of all hit rolls.
Yeah. Again, I think that's something we're going to see moving forward for other stuff, similar to how Belisarius Cord used to work, where we just re-roll straight hits, which was quite nice.
Yeah, it's really good. So another thing he's got is a diving charge. After this model finishes a charge move, you can select one enemy unit within 1 inch of it and roll a d6. On a 4+, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
It's cool. It's a bonus. It's nice.
Yeah, it's not game changing, but just those mortal wounds kind of add up.
Yeah.
And it's enemy unit, so your knights.
Yeah.
Taking a mortal wound. On
most of the time, no save against that for a lot of opponents. That's pretty nasty.
Absolutely. I don't have total angst against all knight players. Don't worry about it. It's just Simon.
Pretty much.
Okay, so Iron Halo, 4+ invulnerable save.
Standard,
pretty much.
Pretty good.
Grav shoot. So during deployment, he can be set up its model in low altitude instead of setting him up on the battlefield. If you do, at the end of one of your movement phases, this model can be placed anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 9 inches away from enemy models. He's got deep strike. It's tactically flexible to do that.
Yeah.
It gives you those options.
It's quite an aggressive character, so I can see that getting quite a lot of use.
But actually, with that 14-inch move and some of the other buffs we've got in the Codex itself, actually...
Yeah, it's a nice bonus to be able to just... I mean, mainly, if anything, just to keep him in reserve, keep him safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And Winged Deliverance, this is a nice bonus.
Yeah, I like this.
You can re-roll charge rolls made for the Raven Guard jump packs and Raven Guard Phobos units within 6 inches of this model when the roll is made.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good.
So you can see this guy charging into combat with either Phobos or jump packers around him, and actually there's a good chance of them all getting in there.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good ability. That's going to be really, really strong. I could see a lot of jump pack builds with this army.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that could be really good.
And this guy, that's it for all his rules. In terms of points, 130 points. For quite a beat stick character, actually.
Yeah, I think for what he does, I mean, he's really strong. For anything, I mean, he's a really strong character. 4+ vulnerable save, he's quite difficult to kill, plus he's going to be counting cover when he's 12 inches away, he's going to be -1 when he's in cover. That straight up re-roll to hit as well makes him just so good. That's such a good points value for him, I think, for what he does.
Yeah, I just see him as a really good buff character for some of the parts of the army itself, with aggressors maybe, giving those re-rolls to hit, and then having him as a counter-charge unit, or just that threat of 14 inches there, plus with some of the stratagems you'll see later, that will extend that out almost to 30-inch threat range, actually, which is really quite nice. Great, I think that's pretty about it for him. I think it's a pretty good point now to start having a look at the stratagems themselves, because I think that's probably the crux of this book, really. Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff in here which combos really, really well with Shrike in particular, with some of his buffs. But I think there's some really nice combos to be had here with some of their their more unusual stratagems, to say. Yeah, absolutely. Bear with me, guys. There's lots of reading. I don't necessarily read all the time, so I'll do my absolute best to get through it. Okay, so the first one is 1 command point. It's Infiltrators. Use this stratagem at the start of the battle round.
Before the first turn, select one Raven Guard infantry unit from your army that is on the battlefield. That unit can move as if it were the movement phase. The move must end more than 9 inches away from enemy models. If both players have units that can do this, the player who is taking the first turn moves their unit first. Each unit can only be selected with the stratagem once. That's a nice one.
For 1 CP.
For 1 CP.
For 1 CP.
Pretty much so. And it's move as per the movement phase.
Yeah.
So if it's move as per the movement phase, you can include an advance roll in that as well.
Yeah, you can.
So your jump packers, potentially, if you want to get them up there, that's 12 inches base move probably.
12 inches. Then
with D6 on top of that.
Before the movement phase.
Before the movement phase. So even before you started, these guys are potentially 18 inches close to the enemy. Then given your next turn, an extra 12 inches on top of that as well.
Yeah.
Plus your other stratagems that stack onto this to give you be able to charge in advance.
Yeah, this is going to be fun, and this is going to be a really good stratagem. I can see this being used on lots of. Did it say it was it's infantry?
Infantry, yeah.
So unfortunately, you can't use it on dreadnoughts or anything like that, which is a shame because that would be cool. But I think there's a lot of reasons why that's not a thing, to be honest.
Right, yeah.
But this is going to be great for aggressors. This is such a good thing for aggressors.
Yeah, this is a good for aggressors, but there's another one I really like for aggressors.
Yeah.
We'll come on to that one a bit later. Yeah, I think for 1 command point, this is a probable take during most games, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Next one command point, the Raven's Blade. Use this stratagem at the start of your charge phase. Select one enemy unit on the battlefield. Until the end of the phase, when charge roll is made for a Raven Guard unit from your army, you can re-roll the dice if that enemy unit was the only selected target for that charge. This is 1 command point.
Yeah.
So those number of times you've got like 3 or 4 charges set up to go against 1 unit, for 1 command point, you're now re-rolling all of those charge rolls for that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, I think this is the theme of this army. It's very aggressive. It wants to be in combat, and there's a lot of stuff that's actually going to get you there, which is really, really nice. Excellent value, 1 CP, really good.
Yeah, and again, I can see myself using this quite a lot during games as well. That's fantastic, because generally I like to overcharge units to make sure they die, and this will really help out with that one.
Yeah. Or if you just want one big thing dead, if you want to just charge one big thing, if you want to get loads of Thunderhammer, Storm Shield, Terminators, Vanguard, Veterans, aggressors with their power fists into something like a Knight.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really help getting all that stuff in and just mullering it down. Just great for 1 CP.
Yeah, that's bargain.
Definitely.
That's a Wes top take. Okay, so next one, 2 command points, Stranglehold. Use this stratagem at the start of the first battle round, before the first turn. If your army includes a Raven Guard. I'm going to say Raven Wing a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, Raven Guard Scout or Raven Guard Phobos units. Until the end of your battle round, you can roll 1d6 each time your opponent uses a command point to use the stratagem. On a roll of 5, your opponent must spend 1 additional command point, or else the stratagem has no effect and cannot be used again that phase. The command points spent so far are lost. You can only use this stratagem once per battle. I like this.
This is actually really cool. So, this is the Calidus Assassin ability.
Exactly, yeah.
Without having to take the Calidus Assassin that breaks Angels of Death.
Yes. And it's just really handy, especially if you're playing against somebody who's got lots of combos that they need to set up with different stratagems.
Yeah.
Just having that ability, you've got to declare it before the battle round starts. But by doing that, you're putting them on the back foot in terms of their strategy, really. Well,
you're doing your opponent has to do 1 or 2 things. He has to not spend any CP that turn, which potentially means he's not putting the damage onto your army, or you're forcing him to spend loads of CP that he's not going to have later in the game. So
yeah,
it's 2 CP, but that's for again very Raven Guard, that psychological kind of edge to him, like. What are you going to do about this? That's really cool. I love that.
And John, this is what I really like about this book. The Iron Hands book is a really powerful book, and it's really upfront powerful. I think this is a really powerful book as well. but it's less direct. There's lots of sneaky little tricks in here that can really benefit the army.
It's very Raven Guard.
It is,
but all of it works.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there which is just fluff for the sake of fluff. All that stuff is really good, but it's really thematic for their army. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I really like this so far.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is 2 command points. False Flight. Use this stratagem when a Raven Guard unit from your army falls back. That unit can shoot and charge again this turn. That's really useful.
Love that.
It's a Raven Guard unit, so if it is a dreadnought that you're leaving, that you want to get out of combat, or any sort of vehicle and stuff, it works for that too. So
yeah, it doesn't specify it has to be infantry. Really great.
Aggressors.
The new Invictor warsuit, so you can back off and fire its flag.
Back off, fire again. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
There are some really nice units all buff from this. Just the ability to
aggressors.
Oh,
put somebody in back off and shoot them again.
You went there with the chat with Andy and I last night. It's pretty much aggressors for everything.
Yeah,
it's pretty much aggressors for this as well. I think it's just so fantastic for that. Okay, so moving on for 1 command point, lay low the tyrants. So use this stratagem when a Raven Guard infantry unit or Raven Guard biker unit from your army is chosen to fight in the fight phase. Until the end of the phase, when resolving an attack made by a model in that unit against a character unit that is not a vehicle, or against a unit that is not a vehicle and contains any models with a wounds characteristic of 4 or more, add 1 to the wound roll. 1 command point.
1 CP.
So again, it's another buff here against characters. So it's essentially now you are +2 to your wound rolls against characters.
Poor Swarmlord. Because he's a monster of multiple wounds, that combined with surgical strikes +2 to hit, +2 to wound.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
for 1 CP. Yes, that's so dumb. It's so good. It's so good.
It's amazing. So if you've got somebody who is the same toughness as your strength, you're now wounding them +2s.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's really good.
And again, it kind of plays in with like the guys assaulting into combat again with those jump packers and in this case now Phobos units as well. Reavers. I think Reavers are pretty good with these guys.
Yeah, Reavers could be really, really good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so the next one for 1 command point, see but remain unseen.
Sorry, to go back to that one, I just had a thought about this. Shrike's pistol against a character. So he's +2 to wound with his pistol.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah.
Which means that he's doing a mortal wound on 4s with that pistol.
Yes, that's really good.
I had a thought about that. That's pretty mean.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It's in the fight phase.
Oh, is it the fight phase?
Fight phase. Yeah. Otherwise, that would be really good.
That's still his +2 of his talons. That's still pretty nasty.
That's still fantastic. Yeah, so unfortunately, just in the fight phase. Otherwise, that would be.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Nice try. You've been hanging out with Andy a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is 1 command point: see but remain unseen. Use this stratagem at the end of your turn. Select 1 Raven Guard unit from your army that did not make any attacks during that turn. Until the start of your next turn, when resolving an attack made with ranged weapons against that unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Again, it's extra resilience, isn't it? And considering that they're probably already -1 to hit anyway.
Yeah.
So they're going to be -2 to hit. Possibly if they're in cover with 2+ armor save as well.
Yeah, really good.
That's really good.
I mean, if you just need to just camp on an objective
and
absolutely need to score that turn, that's so good. Yeah. And again, 1 CP.
1 CP. Yeah.
So you don't need to be spamming loads of troops to be loads of CP in this army for a lot of their cool stuff. I really like that. You could take all the cool stuff.
Well, yeah, it kind of sort of plays into the whole Primaris thing now, is that you can have smaller squads, a little bit more expensive, and know that they're durable now.
Yeah.
Because trying to get rid of 5 intercessors or 3 of the executioners, it's actually really tough. By
the eliminators.
Sorry, eliminators. Yeah, by putting this onto those guys, that becomes actually really nice.
I already love eliminators.
Yeah.
I think they're an amazing unit. That makes them. That's going to make them really hard to shift.
It's making them tougher than Eldar Rangers, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
For 1 command point, love that one. Really, really good. Right, so next one. 1 command point, strike from the shadows. Use this stratagem during deployment. Select one Raven Guard infantry unit from your army. You can set that up in an ambush instead of setting up on the battlefield. If you do, at the end of one of your movement phases, you can set that unit anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Again, it's a deep strike mechanic, isn't it, for one of your units?
Yeah. Yeah, really good.
So
extra movement is always just great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just that psychological factor of being able to put down a unit somewhere where your opponent isn't necessarily expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, it's one of those stratagems where that's going to catch people out.
Yeah.
I think you can just say, 1 CP, this is moving over here, away from you.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. With some of the high rate firepower units that you can get now, such as the intercessors now with 3 shots. If you're coming down on turn 2, by which time you're going into the tactical doctrine, you can have the auto hitting bolters on that as well. They've got the -1 to the AP at that point because you're on to tactical doctrine. Just little things that can add up to make this just a really nice little units. Cool. So next one is 1 command point. It's Vengeance for Istvan 5. Very similar to the Iron Guard. Sorry, yeah, Iron Hands.
Yeah.
I'm just getting it's been a long week. Okay, use a stratagem when the Raven Guard unit from your army is chosen to fight in the fight phase. Until the end of that phase, when resolving attacks made by a model in that unit against a Wordbearer, Iron Warriors, Night Lords, or Alpha Legion unit, you can re-roll hit rolls.
Situational, but that's nice. Nice to be able to have that option.
I like little things like that.
Yeah.
I like where you bring in part of the lore into the gaming mechanics like this, which is great. And it just adds to that grudge match. I hope there's something similar to against Raven Guard with the word bearers as well. It'll be good.
Yeah. Again, I think that's a look to the future. Again, I think we're going to see thematic little stratagems like that where they're useful against a really niche faction.
Yeah.
So I'm up for that. Again, very thematic, really Raven Guard, really nice.
Yeah, it's not massively game changing, but it could make a bit of a difference if you come against army.
Yeah, and 1 CP, nice and cheap.
Yeah. Okay, so next one for 2 command points, ambushing fire. Use a stratagem at the start of your movement phase. If the tactical doctrine is active, until the stratagem when an enemy warlord is destroyed by an attack made by a Raven Guard unit from your army. Until the end of the battle, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of enemy models. Sorry, enemy units.
-1 army wide for your opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can make a difference. I personally don't see leadership making that much difference throughout the game at the moment.
I think in a lot of games, by the time you've killed the warlord, then it's probably negligible how much leadership minuses you're giving to your opponent.
Yeah.
It's situational. I mean, there could be a few armies out there that's going to struggle with, but yeah,
there are a couple of modifiers in here that can do that as well. But on the whole, it's situationally good. But for me, it's probably not one of my go-to ones for this. Okay, so next one is 1 command point, a deadly prize. Use a stratagem at the end of your turn. Select 1 objective marker that is within 3 inches of any Raven Guard infantry unit from your army, and not within 3 inches of enemy units. The next time an enemy unit ends its move within 3 inches of that objective marker, roll a d6. On a 2 to 4, the enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 5+, it suffers 3 mortal wounds. You cannot use this stratagem on the same objective marker more than once per battle. I really like this one.
Booby traps. Yay! It's good.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I like this on 2 levels. I like it because it's very thematic for Raven Guard.
Absolutely.
And then actually, it's really cool. It's quite a good little defensive one. So I can imagine being sat behind the objective that I'm sort of testing at the time, expecting somebody to come towards me. And if they do, there's a good chance they're going to suffer up to 3 mortal wounds.
Again, it's that psychological thing where your opponent, because you have to declare it.
Yeah.
So your opponent knows that if he goes near that objective, he's going to possibly take 3 mortal wounds out of this. So he's got to be quite careful when he goes for that.
Yeah.
It's I like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound brilliant, being like, it's only D3 mortal wounds, so you might just get 1. But again, it's that psychological thing of like, but do I want to just take straight 3 wounds?
Yeah.
I like it. I really like it.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I probably would use this one quite a bit because I like the whole psychological aspect of the game.
Yeah.
So psyching people out with, you can come to me, but there's a good chance you can get some mortal wounds.
Yeah. You can have this objective.
Especially late game
you really
as well.
want it.
Well, especially late game as well.
Yeah.
When model unit numbers are quite a bit less in units. Sorry, model numbers are less in units. So, losing 3 mortal wounds can make most of the squad at that point.
Especially in a meta where we've got a lot of multiple small units of like 5 models and things.
Yeah.
I mean, if you roll that 5+, and that's potentially 3 models dead from a unit.
Yeah.
And I mean, if the Warlord's gone, and you've used the stratagem to -1 your whole army, I mean, that's units running away.
Yeah.
On small units. So that potentially stacks quite nastily.
It doesn't say that it goes away, but I'm assuming it does.
I assume it must go away, but it did say you can't use it on the same objective, so you can use it on multiple objectives. So at one point, you could, like, if your opponent hasn't gone onto any objectives, it's turn 3, you could potentially have 3 booby-tapped objectives.
Yeah.
Which is... That's terrifying to think about.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so moving on to the next one. 1 command point, strike from the skies. Use this stratagem at the start of your charge phase. Select 1 Raven Guard jump pack unit. Until the end of that phase, that unit can be chosen to charge even if it advanced this turn. And when the charge roll is made for that unit, add 1 to the result. So 1 command point.
1 command point.
So this is kind of what we alluded to at the beginning here. The jump pack guys now, you can do that pre-game move.
Yeah.
Of up to 12 plus your d6
For your advance.
And then on top of this, then if you get in turn 1, you're moving your 12 inches. You're advancing up to an extra additional d6, and then you've got your charge move on top of that. So
which is +1.
Yeah, with +1 as well. So it's sort of 36 plus d6, 37 plus d6. So yeah, you're sort of like 43 inches potentially.
Yeah, and if you're anywhere near Shrike, you're giving you re-rolls on top of that.
Yeah, and that's the other great thing as well. Yeah.
So jump pack guys can be moving, 14-inch charges. We're talking here, like some ridiculous movement.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And if you get first turn, there's almost nothing your opponent can do about it. Almost nothing to stop you from. Screens do nothing. They have jump packs.
Yeah.
You're just going to go straight over them.
Just off the top of my head, yeah, that whole move is about 40 inches, which is practically most of the board, like width-wise.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're playing corners and your opponent has castles right in the very corner, there's not a lot that's going to stop.
That's crazy.
A big Raven Guard jump back in from just getting to the other side of them.
That's really good.
Yeah,
I like
really
that.
good. 1 CP.
Yeah. I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one is 1 command point, Master of the Trifold Path. Use this stratagem after nominating a Raven Guard character model that is not a named character to be your Warlord. You can generate 1 additional Warlord trait for them. This must be from the Raven Guard Warlord traits table. All of the Warlord traits your army includes must be different. You can only use this stratagem once per battle. This is quite a good one. It's pretty much standard for the books by the look of it. So
Yeah.
ability to double stack a Warlord traits. You can create then pretty much a character that you want to play with, really.
Yeah.
You want it.
I think when we go on to the Warlord traits later, there is some cool combos actually for what you could do with this.
I quite like these. Yeah. When we go through these, if you see any combos that you really like, please let us know. We can on the link below.
And we won't tell Andy about them.
Yes. This is the Don't Tell Andy show, okay? Because we're going to start playing Raven Guard and tramps him. It's been great. Especially all these mortal wounds you get in here against his iron hands that he's sort of gearing towards at the moment.
Yeah,
Quite nice.
yeah. Finally something to do with his Death Watch as well, which would be quite nice, just mortal wounds.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the next one is Favour of the Raven Spire. It's 1 command point. Essentially, you can give a sergeant character, sergeant model in your army, mastercrafted weapons, digital weapons, the silencer's pistol or corvidai bolts, which is quite a nice little bonus.
Yeah.
I kind of like the theme, and there's some nice little ones in there, we'll go through them shortly. Just nice little bonuses you can give your sergeant.
Yeah, it turns Simons into like a little mini character.
Yeah.
It makes him pretty nasty.
I really like that.
Yeah.
And the next one is Token of Brotherhood, which is for 1 command point. You give successor chapters Raven Guard relics, which can be pretty nice. To be honest, I think Raven Guard is the way to go, really straight up.
Yeah, the Raven Guard successor stuff is kind of cool, but all of the really juicy, really meaty, good stuff is all from Raven Guard, so you probably take honestly Raven Guard anyway.
Absolutely. So there you have it, guys. That's the stratagems. Which ones do you like? Please comment below and see what combos that you can come up with. Great. So I think we should move on now and have a look at the Warlord traits.
Yes.
So Warlord traits. Let's see what stacks we can get going on here. So number 1 is straight up, enemy units cannot fire Overwatch at this Warlord.
Amazing. Anybody who's come across Blood Angel Smash Captains know how annoying not being able to Overwatch something is. Strike has this as his Warlord trait.
Absolutely.
So this is really good. I like it.
Not much really to say about that. It's a fantastic one to have.
Yeah, really good.
Okay, so the next one is Master of the Ambush. At the start of the first battle round, before the first turn begins, if this Warlord is on the battlefield, you can select one other friendly Raven Guard infantry unit on the battlefield, remove that unit and this Warlord from the battlefield and set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from the enemy deployment zone and more than 9 inches away from enemy models. If both players have this ability that redeploy units before the first turn begins, roll off. The winner chooses who redeploys their units first.
Can we sense a theme with this army of very, very fast-moving and...
Fast-moving, tricksiness and getting up the opponent's board. This is my favourite one.
Yeah, it's really good.
And again, kind of going back to aggressors.
Yeah.
The ability to go, whoop, stick aggressors in there, 18-inch range, with a Warlord, which is probably a captain or maybe a chapter master, give them the ability to re-roll hit rolls.
Yeah. Or
that's fantastic.
Your lieutenants could be quite a good choice. The ability to re-roll monster wound.
Yeah, that's nice as well, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fantastic one.
It's really good.
Those two there are quite nice ones to stack
and that
together.
combos really, really well with the stratagem to move pre-game as well, so you can have 2 units just going, hello, I'm halfway up the field now.
And couple with that some of the models that you've got the, I forget the war suit now, the
Invicta war suit.
War suit, you know, those guys being deployed up with the infiltrators and stuff now with the ability to deploy outside deployment zone. There's a lot of shenanigans going on here, and it's allowing you to get some pretty beefy units up there to support those units at the table as well.
Yeah, it has to be 9 inches away from your individual deployment zone,
yep.
Which is... It's a little more restrictive than straight up deploying 9 inches away from enemy. But in some deployments, that's really good. So, I can never remember what it's called, the short table edges where you play really long ways.
Yeah.
That's so good. You basically reduce all of your deployment zone from most of your army by like 12, 18 inches.
Yeah. I wonder if you can use that stratagem as well, actually, for the move before the first turn.
Oh, so move the unit and then...
So do this, and then move the other guys.
Yeah, I don't know how that... If there's an ordering issue there, but I can't see why you couldn't, because they're both on troops.
Yeah.
Well, infantry, sorry.
Use this stratagem at the start of the first battle round before the first turn begins. At the start of the first battle round before the first turn begins. So because it's done at the same time, you can choose the order.
So yeah, you could absolutely take the Warlord and a unit 9 inches from the deployment zone.
Yeah.
And then you could use that stratagem for 1 CP to get a free move, and then the first turn begins, and then you get to move them again, and then 1 CP to make them advance and charge.
Yeah, that's that's pretty good.
Yeah, so I think before we started this, I was saying, I think it would be a cool unit for Raven Guard. Fun to have a Storm Shield, Vanguard veterans. Could be really, really funny.
Yeah.
With +1 to hit and to wound against something like a knight. That's going away. That's going away in a turn.
Yeah.
Nothing survives that.
That is.
They will have 2 attacks each, +1 on the charge. Yeah, with that much movement.
That's.
I am all for that.
I like that. I like that a lot. With those two out of the way, let's talk about Swift and Deadly. Friendly Raven Guard units within 6 inches of this Warlord can be chosen to charge even if they advance this turn. That's pretty good too.
So, we've been talking about all these advanced moving abilities.
Yep.
So, this is really good. Like, we were talking about the stratagem where you can have an additional Warlord trait earlier.
Yep.
So this, combined with the previous one, which lets you do a move,
Yep.
means that you don't actually need to spend the CP to advance and charge.
Yeah.
With a unit, that you get that ability for just being close to this guy.
That's really good, isn't it?
Really good. So you can get all its movement for a single CP at the moment.
Yep.
great, really good.
Or having this guy who gives that buff within 6 inches. It's fantastic.
Yeah, all games with 6 inches.
Again, it's a really movement-heavy army, isn't it? And I could see these working very well with infantry units, generally speaking.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of using this for something like the Invicta Warsuit.
In fact, I was just going to say, actually, because it says Raven Guard unit,
Yeah.
it still works with the Invicta units too.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's fantastic.
I mean, they're going to be, because of the way they deploy, because obviously they deploy like an infiltrator unit, they're going to be way up more field supporting your units. And with an actual proper close combat weapon, yeah, really good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I really like that.
I think getting with the ability for them to lead combat as well and
Yeah, fall back and shoot. Yeah.
Really, really nice
I
warlord
really
traits
like
like
that,
those
yeah.
ones. Okay, so next one, Master of Vigilance. When resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by this warlord, and a modified hit roll of 6 inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any other damage. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
If you want a beat stick character and that's the sort of theme you go for, I think it's a nice enough trait.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you like the idea of like a slam captain kind of model where you want to just be doing a lot of damage, it's kind of cool. But it's very situational for that character. I think that the other warlord traits we've
when you compare it to those other three, those other three are outstanding.
Yeah, they're really, really
this
good.
One's just good. So the next one, Feigned Flight. When this warlord falls back, they can move across the models and terrain as if the models and terrain were not there. In addition, this warlord can shoot and charge in a turn in which they fell back. So there's a bit of a theme here with some of these Space Marine books wanting to be other aspects of other armies.
Yeah.
This one's pretending to be a Harlequin.
It's a Marine with a flip belt.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. There are some shenanigans you could do with this, which is kind of cool. So you could go into a unit, like a screen, for instance, and then at the end of combat, bounce over the screen into something else.
Yes.
And tie that up. Great example would be something like guard tank commanders.
Yeah.
Go through the screen into the tank commander. He then has to fall back if you want to shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And I think that's probably one of the most powerful things of this is just being able to essentially jump over the units.
Yeah.
Without being a jump packer.
Yeah, and he's done some videos talking about beating screens, and this is one of those abilities where you can play some shenanigans and just get into the enemy deployment zone and just cause mayhem, really.
Yeah, and if you want to check that, it's a really good video it's about there, so take a look on our channel for that video, it's really good. Yeah, so I quite like that one as well.
Yeah, I like it, it's cool.
Essentially your warlord's becoming a ninja.
Yeah.
I like it. Echo of the Raven Spire. Once per battle, at the end of your movement phase, this warlord can vanish into the gloom as if they were more than 6 inches away from enemy models. When it does, remove it from the battlefield. When you set this warlord up again, at the end of your next movement phase, anywhere that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. If the battle ends and this warlord is not on the battlefield, it is destroyed.
Ninja vanish.
This is Ninja Vanish again.
It's very Ninja vanish.
It's epic. I'm over here, and now I'm over there.
Yeah. Oh, you thought you were going to get me this turn? Nah, see you later.
Again, it's situationally, this can be actually a really quite powerful tool.
Yeah.
Whether it's catching objectives last turn or moving your sort of sphere of influence to somewhere else on the table, that's a quite nice little power.
Yeah. I think it's quite... So the warlord traits I think are really cool, and I think they're split down the middle depending on how you want to build your Raven Guard army. So if you want to build an army that's very, very aggressive, the first lot of warlord traits are great because they give you massive bonuses to movement and being able to man shots. That's really cool. If you want to build a more gun line and then have a really cool beat stick character, the last few, great for that. Yeah. So you could have like a gun line of what's the new repulsor called? The Executioner. So if you wanted to have like an Executioner themed army in a gun line, you have just like a really mean warlord, you could combine a couple of these and that could be quite funny.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
This is probably my favourite set of warlord traits I've seen so far. It's really nicely done, very thematic, and actually in game really useful. Yeah,
I think they've got a really nice balance of really, like I said, really thematic for that army, but actually being usable warlords. There's not a single warlord trait there which isn't actually. No, you wouldn't consider taking. Maybe not the Mortal Wounds one, perhaps. Yeah. But even still, I mean, all those warlord traits really good.
I'm trying to think which ones I'd taken. It really depends upon the way I'm building my army.
Yeah, I think this is it. I think depending on how you want to run your Raven Guard army, there's a Warlord trait that's perfect for any kind of situation you want to use it for. Great.
That's really good. So I think Warlord traits, very nice spot.
Yeah, really pleased with that.
Let's have a look at the relics of the Raven Spire. Okay, so the first one we got is Ebon Claws. A model equipped with 2 lightning claws only. This relic replaces the 2 lightning claws and has the following profile. Melee, user strength, -3, D3 damage. Abilities, when the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. In addition, when resolving attacks made with this weapon, you can reroll the wound roll.
It's cool.
It's cool. It's pretty much lightning claws really with a D3
It's fancy
damage.
lightning claws, D3 damage lightning claws. It's essentially it strikes old weapons.
Yes.
Before he got changed. Yeah. I think the thing I don't like about it, and this is a very personal thing for me, because I really like the idea of using this as a Primaris force.
Yeah.
It's restricted to lightning claws, which obviously there's nothing in the Primaris that has them, so you have to restrict you to a lightning claw captain. Thematic for the army, but yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. If that's your theme of the army, I think it's a reasonable one to take. Okay, the Armour of Shadows. When resolving an attack made with a weapon that has an armour penetration characteristic of -1 against the model from your army with this relic. That weapon is treating as having an armour penetration characteristic of 0. In addition, when resolving an attack made against the model from your army with this relic, and a modified hit roll of 1, 2, or 3 always fails.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Brilliant.
It's a double survivability buff there, really, isn't it? The ability to ignore that -1, which now there's going to be a lot of, because there's going to be a lot more Space Marine players who are getting those bonuses from the Angels of Death rule. And in addition, the ability to ignore hit rolls of 1, 2, and 3 from the opponents.
See, I really like this because I think we're going to start, especially when you see more Marine players on here, taking things like Eliminators that have like the snipe character rule.
Yeah.
This makes him really solid. I mean, he's basically, anyone who tries to snipe him, you have to roll 4s.
Yeah.
Me.
So, all those buffs and stuff we talked about earlier to improve people's shooting, ignored by this.
Yeah. Yeah, really, really good.
He's your best defense against Raven Guard.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one, Raven Skull of Corvard. I think that's how it's said.
Yeah, Corvard, something like that.
Once per turn, when resolving an attack made by a model from your army with this relic, you can reroll the hit roll, the wound roll, or the damage roll. In addition, if this model from your army with this relic is destroyed as a result of an attack made by an enemy unit, then until the end of the battle, when resolving an attack made by a friendly Raven Guard unit against that enemy unit, add 1 to the hit roll.
Yeah, it's put this on a big suicide captain and slam him into something, and when he dies, I'm like, oh, we're all +1 to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that stacks with precision strikes. Also, that stacks with the lay low the tyrant in combat. So, Hi, thanks for clearing my character. You're now +3 to hit.
So yeah, if you've got a suicide unit, that is a nice one to stick on, right?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's not necessarily my play style, but it might be somebody that might be quite entertaining to do as well.
It's pretty. It's one of those tricks. It'll be hilarious in one game, and then your opponent realizes it and goes, "No, stay away from that. Go away."
Okay, so the next one is Raven's Fury. It's a jump pack model only. A model from your army with this relic can be chosen to charge even if they advance this turn. When the charge roll is made for that model, you can re-roll the dice. In addition, after the model finishes its charge move, you can select one enemy unit within 1 inch of that model and roll a d6. On a 4+, that enemy suffers 1 mortal wound. You're turning it to baby strike there, really, aren't you? I think.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's a fairly nice one if you are running a jump pack guy. That could be fairly beneficial for you.
Yeah, there's the Warlord trait which makes him able to advance and charge anyway. But it's another way of getting into combat like super fast. If you're not relying, you don't have to rely on it so much. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I quite like that one.
Yeah, and like I said, mortal wounds always nice.
Yeah,
it's only 1, but yeah, sure, mortal wounds. I'll have 3 mortal wounds.
Take 3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one is Tenebrous. Models equipped with a mastercrafted Stalker bolt rifle, mastercrafted Oculus bolt carbine, or mastercrafter instigator bolt carbine only. This relic replaces a mastercrafted Stalker bolter, a mastercrafted Oculus bolt carbine, or a mastercrafted instigator bolt carbine, and has the following profile.
Cool.
36-inch range, assault 3, strength 4, -2, flat 2 damage. It also, if you this weapon can target a character unit, even if it's not the closest. When resolving an attack made by this weapon, you can add 1 to the hit roll. In addition, when resolving an attack made with this weapon, the target does not receive the benefits of cover to its saving throw.
So, if you want Sergeant Talion in your Raven Guard army, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty much him, isn't it?
So it could only really be used on the Primaris Captain.
Yeah, and I was thinking I'd probably run with this one actually. I quite like this relic.
Yeah, I actually like this. So he gets +1.
Yep.
So he's probably 2+ to hit. So essentially he ignores -1 against stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
He's 2+ to hit. Ignores cover.
Yep.
Which is, which is essentially a +1 AP if you're in cover. And it can target characters with flat 2 damage. Assault 3. I mean,
well, the nice thing about being Assault 3 is that this dude can advance, and if he's got 2+ ballistic skill anyway, he's going down to 1 and back up to 2 for the advance. So he's even advancing and running around the table. This guy is tapping on and hitting things on 2s.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's really funny because for the last few books, I think the actual weapon relics have always been a bit subpar. This is really good. And again, really good.
Couple that again with the fact you've probably got the tactical doctrine on from turn 2 onwards. You are going to be at -3 with this as well.
Yeah.
If you're going to shoot this against the character, you get that additional +1 to hit and that +1 to wound as well. And it's a flat 2 damage.
I mean, so potentially he's putting out 6 damage, which means he can pretty much, with 1 round of shooting, kill any foot character.
Yeah, there's
potentially
there's annoying guard characters and stuff. You can easily be able to take these guys out.
Yeah, other Marine captains.
Yeah.
That's really good.
You're actually going to be wounding them on the 3, aren't you, pretty much? And if it's a like a guard character or one of the Eldar characters, again, you're going to be wounding them on 2s. That's I really like that.
Yeah, really good. Really like that.
Okay, so the last one is Oppressor's End. Models equipped with a combat knife only. This relic replaces the combat knife and has the following profile. Melee, +1 strength, -2, 1 damage. Abilities, when this bearer fights it can make 1 additional attack with this weapon. In addition, when resolving an attack made with this weapon against a character unit, the weapon has a damage characteristic of 3. It's kind of like Segarak's Rose, isn't it, for the Harlequins, really, where the rerolls to wound.
Yeah, it's I'm going to use like character comparisons, but it's Slime Marbo in power armor just sneaks up and shanks you.
That's exactly it.
It's kind of it's pretty funny just the image, because I think that there's a new lieutenant model I think who actually has like the blade facing downwards, so it's literally.
So for me, this is the new Phobos lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the what's the guy with the skull faces?
Like the Reaver.
The Reaver Phobos.
Guy.
That's that dude.
It is.
Going off, shanking people like.
We might have changed his hair though, because there's the new upgrade kit with the really nice emo haircuts for the Raven Guard. So, but even still, it's so good.
All my guys are gonna have bald heads and beards, ginger beards at that, because that's the coolest thing you can have. So yeah. But I quite thematically I quite like that. I like the idea of
I'm gonna shank you.
I'm gonna shank you.
Yeah. And to be fair, with all the movement buffs and stuff, he's got a good chance of actually doing it.
Yeah.
But I think it's really, really funny with this. It's combined with the Ninja Vanish. He just goes up and shanks somebody, just goes see ya, and just goes away.
Show my chachos, I'm out of here. Yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah,
I think it's a real fun tactical play with that. I don't think it's a meta changing relic, but I think it's a very fun one.
No, it's just fun,
and that will just catch people out.
Yeah, your opponent can only laugh at stuff. I think the word we're using in this book a lot is thematic, and it's very Raven Guard. It's very much like
absolutely. Yeah. I really like it. This is,
Yeah.
I think it's what I'm going to be running.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay, so next is the special issue war gear. So very similar to all the other lists before. So you have the opportunity to take adamantium mantle, artificer armor, mastercrafted weapons, digital weapons. Where the changes come, it's in the shadow master cloak. So a model with this relic has a 3+ invulnerable save, whilst they are wholly within a terrain feature.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Although bearing in mind with the buffs that you were getting to potentially to your armor save anyway, with being in cover,
yeah,
it could cancel itself out. So it's not necessarily as good as it necessarily sounds, but still 3+ invulnerable save isn't too.
People still like having a 3+ invulnerable save just because it keeps a lot of.
Well, the great thing is it's not going to disappear.
Yeah.
So in combat, so you're always going to have that 3+ invulnerable save.
Yeah. So if you've got a character on an objective in cover somewhere, it's a pretty good chance of actually keeping it from the enemy, which is quite nice.
Absolutely. The Silenter's Pistol. Models equipped with a bolt pistol or heavy bolt pistol only. This replaces a bolt pistol or heavy bolt pistol and has the following profile: 12-inch range, pistol 2, strength 5, -2, and flat 2 damage. This weapon can target characters even if they're not the closest enemy, and I'll get my words out shortly. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, you can add 1 to the hit roll. So if it's a character, it's +2 to your hit roll.
Yeah. It's a mini strike pistol.
It is a mini strike pistol. I don't think it's game changing.
No. The cool thing is though, you can take this just on a sergeant.
Yeah.
Because one of the stratagems means you can take it. So you've got a untargetable guy that has this because you can't be picked out of the unit, which is quite nice. Yeah, situational. Not maybe not the greatest choice of relics to take, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, against Reavers it'd be quite good.
Yeah.
Great. So the Corvidari bolts. When you give this model this relic, select 1 bolt weapon, see Codex Space Marines. That model is equipped with. When that model is choose to shoot, you can choose for that weapon to fire a Corvidari bolt. If you do, when choosing targets for that model, and when choosing range weapons, that weapon's range characteristic is increased by 6, and it can target units that are not visible to the bearer. But only 1 attack can be made with this weapon. So I think this is quite an interesting one. So essentially with this one, you're able to target characters, units that are outside line of sight. So there's a pesky little guy behind cover there you're trying to shift. It's useful there. I think it probably worked well with the Stalker bolt rifle.
Yeah, I think being only 1 shot hurts it because it can't target characters with it. It's just a unit. So I'm trying to think of a really good use for this, but I'm struggling because a lot of stuff that's going to be out of line of sight is probably going to be characters, which most of the time you're not going to be able to shoot at because they're not going to be the closest.
Yeah.
Unless end game. That could be really useful end game for someone hiding an objective. And the only other thing I can think of is things like small little 5-man units behind, sat on an objective somewhere where you just want to pick off just a guy every so often.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's another situational.
Situational one could be useful, but I think if you start using command points, which are in this book, the stratagems are so good, I don't want to be necessarily using up command points unless it's really going to give me some benefit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can give this to the sergeant with the strat. So I mean, you can have the sergeant try and pick out 1 guy with that, and the rest of the unit firing something else. So that could be an option. Yep.
Okay, so moving on to the next one now, the Shard of Istvan. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of a model with this relic. In addition, when a morale test is taken for a chapter unit within 6 inches of this model with this relic, do not roll the dice roll, it automatically passes.
Fearless.
Yeah, so you're making units within 6 inches fearless. If you're taking larger squads of Raven Guard, this will probably be useful.
Yeah. Yeah, this is again situational.
Yep.
Very situational. So if I would like to take maybe big units of Vanguard veterans, quite good against for them.
Yeah.
Although saying that, Legion 9.
Yeah.
Vanguard vets. It's. I think leadership being quite high for Space Marines in general means that most of the time you get away with it, and because you're Space Marine, you get to re-roll your morale.
Yeah.
It's
nice, and again thematic with the whole Istvan thing, the Shard of Istvan, but again I don't think I'll probably use a CP for that one.
No, there is definitely some more usable relics there you could take.
But if you guys see a potential use for this, please let us know below. Great. So I think we've covered all the stratagems. I think there's one last thing to chat about, and that is the Umbromancy discipline, which is the own Raven Guard psychic powers.
Yeah.
Let's tuck into it.
Raven magic.
Raven magic. Right, so the first one is Umbral Form. Has a warp charge value of 5. If manifested until the start of your next psychic phase, the psychic has a 4+ invulnerable save.
That's pretty good.
Pretty solid, really, isn't it?
Yeah, nice low warp charge.
So, 5 at warp charge for 4+ invuln. Again, a little bit extra survivability. Is it necessarily needed with this army where positioning should stop you being targeted and there's the -1 to hit and the actual cover save bonuses?
I think being limited to the librarian makes it not quite as useful. If you could cast it on a different character, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, it's very situational.
Okay. So next one, Enveloping Darkness has a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to the Psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, that unit cannot fire Overwatch, and when resolving an attack made by that unit, subtract 1 to the hit rolls.
Love it.
I really like this one.
Really like it.
This is that Phobos Psyker.
Yeah.
Giving it this, making guys not Overwatch.
Yeah.
And making them, in fact, and subsequently as well, making their hit rolls worse, and that is in their shooting phase as well.
Yeah, so in the shooting phase they're -1 to hit and then they can't Overwatch.
Yeah.
This is really good. Could the Phobos librarian infiltrate?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of play if you wanted to do the move, pre-game move, assault after advancing, and then you just go, before you do advance psychic phase, I'm just going to make sure you can't Overwatch me. And that's... So I've played anti-smash captains and I hate not being able to Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely hate it. That is awful. That is by far the single best thing in the entire book against Tau.
Yes.
Oh, you want to great a good me? You can't.
Well, the other guys will be able to, won't they? It's just that one unit that wouldn't be able to Overwatch.
Yeah, so you could charge the biggest, nastiest unit and go, I'm going to charge you,
yeah.
So you're not going to be able to Overwatch.
Yeah, so they're going to have to be just a bit more defensive how they set up to be doing that. But yeah, I really like that. And for Warp Charge 7, that's pretty reasonable actually.
Yeah.
It's a good chance you get that off.
Yeah, I really like that. Really good.
Okay, so the next one, Spectral Blade, has a Warp Charge value of 5. If manifested until the start of your next psychic phase, this psychic strength characteristic is equal to their leadership characteristic. In addition, until the start of your next psychic phase, when resolving attacks made with a melee weapon by this psychic against a unit whose highest leadership characteristic is lower than the psychics, that weapon has an armor penetration characteristic of -4 for that attack. I quite like this one. So remind me, what is the leadership characteristic of a Psyker?
I'm pretty sure it's 9
for a Psyker.
Yeah.
So this dude, I think generally got 4 attacks, 5 attacks, these guys, puts extra 1 on the charge. Strength 9.
Yeah, with a 4 sword, so it's -3 AP and D3 damage.
And if it's a vehicle, it's probably less than that, it's going to be D3 damage as well.
Yeah, pretty much everything other than knights, I think, are literally 8 or lower.
Yeah. So most things it's going to be base wound.
I mean, it gets worse because precision strikes kicks in, so he's +1 to hit, +1 to wound, and then there's Lelo the Tyrant. So, hey, do you want? You know what this is? Hi, I'm Mephiston.
Yes.
Before the nerfs. Hi, I'm back. Hello, did you miss me? No, I'm unlucky.
But any of you guys can take him, and I think this is fantastic. So
it's
all of a sudden,
really good,
especially with the aggressive nature of the librarian going up there, doing the diddly power to stop Overwatch. He can then himself go in and be a beat stick in combat as well.
So actually, this would combo really well with the 4+ invulnerable save psychic power. You can make him a mini cap. You make him a captain basically.
Yeah.
Because I think they have 3 attacks basic, so +1 on the charge for Mentor's Death.
Thing is though, would you? So if they're only taking 2 powers, would you give up preventing Overwatch to take the 4+ invulnerable save.
No, because I did 2 librarians.
Okay.
No, I know what you mean. I think it all depends on the playstyle of your army. I think this is again is great if you want gunline beatstick characters.
Yeah, I really love that. Again, and it's that forward motion, that pushing up with the Raven Guard, but in a very not in a beatstick way like the Iron Hands, who are just really tough. It's just lots of tricksy little powers and abilities to push them up the field. I really like this.
This is probably by far the most aggressive supplement. I think even more so than White Scars.
Yeah.
White Scars have got a lot of speed, but that's their big shtick, is they're really fast. These guys, when they're in combat, these hurt when you're there. This is their thing.
And for me, it's the one thing I really like about this is I love infantry, and I really, really love the new Primaris models. But up until now, I haven't really felt that I could run an entire Primaris infantry army and it be that effective. With this book, I really do think that's possible.
I think this is the supplement if you want to run a pure Primaris army.
Yeah.
I think White Scars they still like their bikes and things, which is a shame because they've not got any new models.
One day I'm sure they will. But
Iron Hands, there's some cool stuff in there. I think Centurions are going to be really, really good with Iron Hands personally.
Yeah.
So, but I can't think of anything other than Vanguard Veterans. Everything else in the book is just like, I'll just take Primaris to do all these jobs. Absolutely.
Yeah. I really like it.
Yeah.
So next one is Shadow Step. This one was previewed on the Warhammer TV website.
Yeah, the community page.
Community page is the one, yeah. I really like this one. Shadow Step. As a warp charge value of 7, if manifested, select one Raven Guard character unit from your army within 18 inches of the Psyker. Remove that unit from the battlefield and set it up anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches away from enemy models. This one with a Chaplin dreadnought from Forge World.
Yeah, because it doesn't specify infantry, which is kind of funny.
No. So he's a character.
Yeah.
He can then put off his listening's power to give him 2+ those charge roll.
Yep.
You can then reposition him across the table, so 9 inches away. He then has to make a 7-inch charge with the potentials for rerolls.
Yeah. And if he's up the field in the psychic phase with all of this other stuff that's been able to move pre-game in the movement, in the movement phase.
Yeah.
My other thought as well was something like, maybe not quite as aggressive as that, but maybe something like the Lieutenant. So it gives you that rerolls to wound, or reroll ones to wound as well, something like for supporting units.
Okay.
The alternative is, I assume, he could just move himself.
Yes.
Which means you could use that power to go into range, and then he can go no Overwatch.
Yeah.
So that's quite a nice thing.
Yes, if you weren't taking the Phobos guys, get in there, or you didn't want to use destruction, you could just reposition himself around the table to bring his effects, really.
Yeah.
And if you had any of the some of the buffs as well from the what they call the relics, that's something he can bring to the table as well. But I think, for me though, moving a Chaplin dreadnought on the table and getting a charge in on the 7+ with reroll.
Yeah. So, again, all that stuff's super aggressive.
Yeah. I really like this.
It's a very strange thing actually, because their chapter tactic is like one of the best in the game. -1 to hit.
Yep.
In cover. But all their stuff doesn't want that. They're like, we want to be cool in cover. Don't worry, we're not going to be there.
But it's kind of the tactical sneak up the table. We're protected until we are 12 inches within charge range.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go in there and smash your face.
Yeah. It's I like the fact that this army can work really well in turns 1 and 2, because turn 1 you can be like super aggressive, everything's up the table, done. Got to go into the enemy. Turn 2, we're just gonna stay in cover.
Yeah.
Be really, really tough.
So I love Space Marines. I'm more of an Eldari sort of flavoured player. But this really scratches my Eldari itch.
Yeah.
Just with the tricksiness and some shenanigans that you can play with this, I really like it.
Yeah, I'm a hardcore player and I'm like, I'd love some of this stuff. Some of these psychic powers would be incredible.
Man, they really would. Okay, so let's stop fanboying over it. Let's move on to the next one. The Abyss. The Abyss has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to this Psyker. Roll 3d6. For each roll of 4, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. If any models in that unit are destroyed as a result of this psychic power, subtract 1 from their leadership characteristic of the models in that unit for the rest of the turn.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, situationally it could be good, especially with the other leadership debuffs you can get. You've killed the warlord, etc. That could make a difference.
I think it's a nice alternative to smite as well. So if you've got
Yeah.
nothing else, that you have to select this power.
Yeah.
But it does mean you can target units that aren't closest, which is kind of nice.
If you're struggling, you need some extra spike capability. That's a fairly useful one.
Yeah.
You can be quite close though.
It's,
When measured up against the other four,
yeah,
it's not a take.
it's good, but it's not.
It's good, but
It's
not
not an auto include. You wouldn't turn to that most of the time.
I think we coined the phrase yesterday. It's good, but it's not excellent like some of the other ones in here. So in any other situation, it'd probably be a reasonable one. But actually, in this codex, it doesn't shine as much as the others.
No.
Okay, so the final one, the Darkness Within, has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select up to 3 enemy units within 18 inches of the Psyker. Roll 1d6 for each of those units. Add 1 to the result if the result of the psychic test was 10 or more. On a 4+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
Okay.
Very similar to the other ones. It's some weak.
Spreading mortal wounds around is always kind of nice, but if it was D3 mortal wounds, I'd say that's really, really good. That's not bad at all. 1 mortal wound,
Yeah.
I think
you're pretty better off with Smite, really, I think.
Yeah, honestly, I think. I mean, it's cool that you can target, like, again, units that aren't necessarily the closest, but I assume you can't target the same unit 3 times, right? You have to 3 different units.
If manifested, select up to 3 enemy units within 18 inches of Psyker.
Yeah.
The one cool thing about this is that I'm guessing you don't have to do the closest enemy unit, like Smite.
Yeah,
which is one benefit over Smite.
I suppose with this as well, because it has to be line of sight, I suppose you could technically do it to characters, right?
Yeah, possibly.
Because usually psychic powers get around that
Yeah.
targeting because it's a psychic phase.
Yeah.
So potentially you could be like, 3 characters in range, mortal wounds. That's kind of cool. That stacks up over time in the game.
Yeah, it does.
Especially then because you've got a lot of abilities that target characters.
Yeah.
You could just be like, mortal wound, and then I'll just go target you and shoot the face. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, it's got some use, but I think, it's, like I said, stacked up against the other psychic powers, I think it's situational.
Yeah. But on the whole, though, I think 4 out of 6 of those are really good psychic powers. So, they've done really well there. Cool. What do you guys think? Have we missed something there? Is there something you think that stacks up with some of the other combinations? Please let us know below. So, guys, there you have it. That is the new Raven Guard supplement. And again, thanks again for GW for sending that out to us so we could share that with you. Please share your thoughts. So, what do you think of it, the supplement itself?
Love it. Absolutely love it. I think there's some really good potential with this book. If you're a big fan of Primaris, this I think is the supplement for you.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of cool uses to have a lot of the new units. Love the new Infiltrators, I love the new Eliminators, I love the new Victors. All of that stuff has a home in this book.
Yeah,
I'm really pleased. I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting some Marines on the table again soon. That'd be really nice.
So, what units would you think really stand out for the Raven Guard?
So I think aggressors could be really, really good with this.
Yeah.
With their relatively short range, I think all this pre-game movement makes them really, really good. So I think is one of the number 1 units. I think Vanguard Veterans, for me personally, Vanguard Veterans are going to be the unit I'd want to take.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to go convert up some Infiltrators probably with graph sheets and make them really cool and thematic, but I think they could be really good. 12-inch movement, those 2 pre-game movements I think you could really good. Thunderhammers, Storm Shields, just beat stick units. Those are the ones for me. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just all of the shenanigans really, and some of the stuff being able to take out characters. Because especially with 8th edition at the moment, lots of the bonuses for units resolve around having characters, and just the ability with this army to just delete those. So you've got characters that can snipe out characters. You've got sergeants that can snipe out characters. You've got the intercessors with the stalker bolters, which for the 3 command points you can stack that up there. With additional bonuses, they're going to be doing mortal wounds on a 5+, in addition to the regular wound as well. I just think that's fantastic. I think the is it the executioners? The Eliminators, always get confused. The Eliminators, I think they're really, really good in this army.
Yeah, I really like these. I like the Eliminators anyway, but I think they're some of the coolest models that they've brought out for them. They're so good in this army, so good. Especially with a lot of their abilities of +1 to hit into wound on character sniping weapons that are actually like pretty like hard hitting.
Yeah.
Great, really, really good. Love that.
Especially with the Invictor war suits as well now. And in fact, the infiltrators as well. Andy's been ranting about them quite a bit, but especially with that pre-game move ability where you can move them up and essentially pushing out that screen because they've got that 12-inch bubble of no, you can't come here.
Yeah,
That's just fantastic.
I love infiltrators. When they were announced and they showed that ability, that 12-inch bubble of no, you can't deep strike anywhere near me. That's horrific. So, no more bloodletter bombs because they can't physically charge because they're more than 12 inches away. If people are starting to bring drop pods, because drop pods start to become quite popular again, that's horrific. I mean, you screen out them. With the pre-game movements, you can screen out such an enormous amount of the board.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically forcing your opponent saying, you're deploying in your zone,
Yeah.
you can't come near me. That's really, really powerful.
Yeah.
That's really powerful. And in this book as well, because they can afford to be out in the open, because they're going to be characters being in cover, and love it.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that's it. If you have any last thoughts, please drop them below, let us know, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.